I love it when I see certain JKD people pretzelizing. It's a word. Pretzelizing themselves to try to get Bruce Lee's words to prove their point. Let's talk about it. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel. Welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast number 330. This is the one about putting Jeet Kune writings into proper context. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune broadcasts. Okay, now, anytime that I make a claim against somebody, I got to be sure that I am not guilty of doing the same thing. So if I'm saying that there are people who twist themselves and contort themselves to try to get Bruce Lee's words to prove their point, I got to be sure that I don't do the same thing. So to avoid that possibility as much as possible, I can't believe I said that, I followed the advice of two of my JKD colleagues. So Andy Wilson of MKG Seattle. Andy was the first person I heard to opine that in true scholarship, you do not attach yourself to somebody's earliest offerings. What you want to do is, if you're going to attach yourself to anything, you attach yourself to the person's later or latest offerings, since those are likely to be more representative of the writer's evolution of thought. The second person is, of course, Cass Magda. And Cass is the one who, I forget the exact way he said it, but essentially it was alliteratively, think the thought of the thinker at the time the thinker thought the thought, or something like that, right? So what does this mean in JKD context? Well, in the case of Bruce Lee and Jeet Kune, we have to try to do a Dan Kennedy thing. We have to enter into the conversation that Bruce Lee might have been having in his head when he wrote what he wrote. So, for example, the famous XY letter. There are those who will try to tell you that the XY letter represents Bruce Lee's thinking on the adding of styles to JKD. Except that this letter was written way before this whole idea of adding styles to Jeet Kune became an issue. So there's no way that what Bruce Lee wrote that could, well, there is a way because they do it. But logically, what Bruce Lee wrote in the 1960s can't have anything to do with an issue that came up in the 1990s. So when you understand the context of the letter and you realize that it was a response to a somewhat misguided request for permission to show or teach what was being trained at the LA Chinatown School, it was a request for permission to teach that stuff inside a traditional karate school. So when you understand that, then the words in the letter take on a completely different meaning, and the original context becomes apparent. So since we're on the topic of add-in styles, let's look at one more item. I was going to pull it, but I don't have it here. But you guys have probably seen it in the commentaries book. Actually, here it is. But where? I didn't pull it. But it's the part. It's where Bruce Lee talks about Muay Thai, and he says something like, sure, Jeet Kune is a little bit like Muay Thai, except that in JKD there would be no second round or something like that, right? Now, if you were to run off and go, oh, look, Bruce Lee says that JKD is a little bit like Muay Thai. So that means that Jeet Kune Do and Muay Thai go together, or that Muay Thai is part of Jeet Kune Do. Well, that would be ridiculous, because that's not what he's saying at all, right? When Bruce Lee says something like, to be sure, JKD resembles some other systems, he also says that those similarities are superficial. And his reason for saying that the similarities are superficial is his belief that the other systems, as he would say, are involved in what JKD wishes to avoid. That is the pointless endeavor to set and trap reality in a partial mold, instead of expressing it, reality, totally. So when you think about that, okay, so what would Bruce Lee have been referring to? Obviously, it is the classical systems of his era. So he's saying, yeah, maybe in Jeet Kune Do we punch and we kick, and maybe there are systems out there which also punch and kick. But Jeet Kune Do is not like those systems, in that Jeet Kune Do is comprised of the search for totality and the search for freedom of expression. So any similarity to another system is wiped away when you understand that. So Bruce Lee advises getting rid of what? The mold and the system. Do not try to fit yourself into a particular mold, because that type of freedom, to use his words, freedom cannot be preconceived. So when you understand that, you realize that this is part of Bruce Lee's recipe for investigating other systems or styles. Bruce Lee never said there is nothing to be gained from looking at other things. He also never advised that you had to study something from beginning to end, of course, right? What he cautioned against was to not, again, to use his word, don't go finding yourself caught up in another miasma of classical martial arts training. So yes, go ahead, investigate other things, but keep your primary objective, that which is non-classicalness, freedom of expression, simple and direct. Keep those things uppermost in your mind as you are investigating these other things. So that is my little talk on putting JKD writings into context. And please, no, it's not one book. The postcard said Jeet Kune Do writing. Okay? It wasn't, I'm going to take a book on Jeet Kune Do and put it into its proper context. Ridiculous. So that's my saying. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. That's all I got to say about this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods. At paypal.me/UnifiedMA Miami, paypal.me/UnifiedMA Miami. The Jeet Kune Do Journey, raw but edited, Volume 1 is available. PayPal.me/UnifiedMA Miami. You can also support the show over at jkdrebel.com. Click on the Rebel Gear link, and that's where you'll see stuff like this, the JKD Notables t-shirt, also available, coffee mugs, t-shirt, long sleeve, short sleeve, all that, hoodie, all that good stuff. And 2 events that are coming up. Most quickly, the let me see if I can change this. No, that blocks that out. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. You go to Facebook, right? Go to my page and click on my events, and that's where you'll find all the information for the TCF seminar here in about a month and a half. So there's time. You know, they say if you're going to book flights and hotels and what have you, booking them 6 weeks out is is one of the ways to get like really good rates and what have you. So this thing is August 17th and 18th, I think it is, but it's on Facebook, on my page, Dwight D. Woods, and just click on the events. And I've left this up so that anybody who's interested can write down that long event number there. If you can't find anything, just message me at jkdrebel@gmail.com. So that is the TCF seminar. And of course, there's Titans of JKD 4 next year in February. And there's no website for that yet, obviously, right? So we'll take care of that, in time to go. Okay, so that is it. Let me take a quick look and see if anybody had anything. Alex Hausman, what's Alex saying? I heard a JKD journey a while ago. Where is it? You must not have sent me the email, Alex. I will take a quick look, and doesn't take long to get it to you. You should maybe check your email and see if you didn't get it in the reply that I sent out. But I'll check it again for you. All right, so that is it for me for today. I'm off this weekend, so there's no JKD dialogues, and but I'd really like to enlist you guys your help in getting me the names of people that you think I should have back on the show, or if they've never been on the show before. And feel free, you can nominate yourself, right? But send me some ideas for people to get back on the show, and we will go from there. All right, so that's it for me for today. We're doing Independence Day celebrations tomorrow, so it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of hot dogs and hamburgers and fireworks and flags and what have you. Really cool. Okay, so this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel, signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Today's a brown, beige, and pink day. I went real old school on this one. Okay, guys, take care. Talk soon.